Hello, everybody. Welcome to Roll or Troll. My name is Wade Acuff. I'm going to be your host for this session, or I guess your DM stands for Drawing Master. Well, maybe not. Maybe not Master. Maybe Drawing Man. The guy that's drawing. Anyway, I'll be your host for today. Want to say really quick hello to chat. What's up, chat? I see everybody kind of filing in. But I have to explain how roll or troll works. If you're not sure what this means, what we do, we roll a d20. Yes, really hard to see this far away, but we toss it into our dice tray, and then we go over to our key, and then we reveal, if we can, what our options will be. We'll have two options, and it'll be on these lines for 1 through 20. And it'll be one good option that's maybe like, lawful good. Maybe. Rarely we have chaotic good. But then there'll be a not so great one. It's a little mixed bag sometimes. So sometimes they are chaotic evil on the bad ones. But that's okay. That's why it's roll or troll. We do have to get your opinions and your votes, I guess in the form of votes, on what we're going to do. And we do start off every session with 2 options or more. We have started with 3 before. And today's options, which the poll should be up, the starting options, Alternative Alley, which could be, something magical in nature, or a Mayhem Market. So those are our 2 options. Jack and I already have bets placed on which one chat will pick, and we'll see what happens. So that's how Roller Troll works. You guys get to vote and tell me what to do. In the meantime, from our last session, we'll check in with what results we've done so far. So this is where we ended last session. It got us. We had a lot of options. That we covered. I should have pulled up the sheet, but I didn't. I think I have it right here, though. We had too big to flail. Those are the tiny wings. We had safety first, so we have helmet going on here. We've got, what else did we have? Sidecar, which is this little guy. We had landing gear, which is this going on. Accessories, which I think is the scarf. So we had all of these options going on, and then I finished up as best I could with adding a color layer, which if you follow me on Blue Sky, if you follow me on the Discord, sorry, I don't think I posted this on Blue Sky, but I did put a time lapse on Blue Sky of the drawing, if you want to check that out. But here is our Color Dragon delivery service reveal. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, kind of getting to splash some colors around on this. I also did a quick little color for our little pals that showed up to help us out. But yeah, that's the full on. That's where I got with it. Obviously, more could be done, but I think this was a good start to something that's maybe fun. Yeah, happy little guy for sure. What's up, Penny? How's it going? Big shout out to Jack and Nightwalker. All right, let's take a look. We've got 50-50. We got 3 votes. I can't work with a 50-50, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, after every Roller Troll session, depending on where we get, I will take what we have and I will try to work it up some form or fashion, usually adding color to it. Nemesis, we need your vote if you haven't already voted. Democracy has failed. Don't get me in my. I'm trying to stay in a flow state. We need a tiebreaker. That's right. Oh man, we had a tiebreaker and then it got tied again. I think people like the idea. But since we're kind of figuring out, if you didn't know what was happening here, these are 2 very similar options. We're basically building a a courtyard, a bunch of, or depending on what you choose, or an alley full of shops. That's kind of where we're going. And I've never really done this sort of thing before, so we'll see how it goes with our options. How do we get 2 more? I think people are waiting. In the meantime, I'm not gonna doodle any landscape or any kind of cityscape. I'll just start sketching and see what happens. The next vote wins, by the way. Next vote wins. How about alternative? Oh, we could have an alternative alley market. You know what? I think that's what we're going to do. We roll with the punches here. We get what we end the poll. No, it's a tie. It's a tie. I'm calling it. We tied. I appreciate your vote, your last minute vote. Okay, we'll lean. Oh, never mind. It tied up again. I was about to say, since one of them won, went to end it and tied again. It's okay. We'll end it there. No one won. We'll make them equally as important. How about that? Okay, we're gonna get going. To do that, it's a tie. That's right. This is the first. This is You know what? We got to go full cam for this. You guys just made Roller Troll history. This is the first time we've had a tie. But you know what? That just means it's time to roll. Let's go to the dice cam and see what's up. Okay. We're going to do our first roll of the day. We've got an 11. Whoop. 11sies. See what that looks like on the board. Pop in here, see what's up. So our first option on 11 is pressing news. Pressing news is our first option. And our second option is Bill's board. Bill's board. So the way I had this in mind is we would have some kind of news press or a billboard. Our Bill's board, probably like a message board more than anything else. But first, let's go ahead and start sketching something in. And while you guys are working on that, I'll just go ahead and kind of lay out some of this. I think what we're going to have to do, I'm going to pick an eye line that's sort of going to be our base. Sort of, it might be a little bit lower than typical eye line. And I'm just going to do some real rough ground for this. And none of these things make any sense right now. They're just scribbles. But if I were to make them make sense, this could be potentially where our buildings are. If you can imagine this. And I'm just kind of doing like a rough skyline of this. So each one of these can be one of our buildings in process. And it's going to be rough. This probably will be the most rough, unfinished version, even though that first Roller Troll was pretty rough. But this will probably be right in line with that one. So this is sort of our eye line, which means we'd have a little bit of a slant off of this. But, you know, we can mess around with this. Nothing's locked in stone. I don't want to get going too far. I will make a background layer real quick. Just maybe we'll drop in some rough sky for now. Some clouds or something. I don't want to get too far into that because who knows what's going to happen. I certainly don't. I do know some of the options. I remember some of them. I rarely remember what the options are by the time we get to it during the week. That's a lot of buildings. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean we're all going to get to those. And we could separate these out in their own layers. These are just stand-in. These are all... So we may just like pick one of these areas, work on that, do our little thing there. You know what I'm saying? So don't stress it too much, because I certainly am not, even though I maybe should be. All right, I'm going to call this background. Let's see what the first poll is doing, because we're probably going to get these pretty rapidly. Bill's board. Okay, Bill's board is winning. Nobody likes the news. You know what? I'm hearing you loud and clear on that one. All right, let's go ahead with Bill's board so that I can get drawing on that. Not quite the same turnout as the first vote. I think that tie was driving people to vote. So that's all you really got to do in any kind of democratic situation is say, oh no, things might win. Looks like everything's tied. All right. So Bill's board wins. Before I get going on that, let's do one more roll so we can determine what's next. I'm going to choose another die here. Let's go to the roll screen real quick. See what's up with this. All right, we got the red D20 coming out. See what happens. It's kind of a chaotic roll. Looks like a 6. Yes, that is a 6. All right, so let's move over to the board. Take a look at 6. All right, what do we got here? Move some things around real quick. Okay, 6 has us. Oh, a gallant guardian. Sorry, I can't even read. A gallant guardian, if you will. Or troll patrol. And we have to roll a 1d4 to decide what those are. But first you have to decide what that's going to, what our results are going to be in the poll. While I work on Bill's board, I'm going to go ahead and come up here. Oh no. Ignore those crossouts or selections. I don't know why I called it crossouts. Should be selection. Anyway, we've got Bill's board as our selection on this one. And let's just move on over. All right. I'm probably going to put this over in the corner, over on the side here. And we can move this around if we need to. I'm going to have this be more like a post-it board, like a job posting board. You know what? I might actually just make it flat on to, yeah, I may do that. It's going to be a whole experiment here. I'm just going to make a little stand for our board. Maybe put out a little, and if we have to redraw this, I'll redraw it. Maybe there's a little lantern or something hanging off to the side. Because, it would have to be lit in some way. Ryan, what's up? Poll is up. Yes, thank you. This ought to be, yeah. Pay the troll patrol. That's right. Job board? Well, it could be jobs. It could be wanted posters. It could be missing persons. It could be lost cat things. It could be community announcements. Speaking of community announcements, and also speaking of, not when I was speaking of drawing on the same layer, if you press Control-Shift-J, you can remove whatever object you've selected from the previous layer, and now it's on its own layer. But speaking of community announcement, Ryan, thanks so much for being here. Ryan is heading up the Discord server where you can find a lot of this chaos, not only Roller Troll, but also other community shows from Adobe. Check those out. Some of them are on Twitch, like this one on Mondays and Fridays. And some of them are over on the Classic. I call this Adobe Live Classic. Over on Behance and on YouTube, which, you know, keep your eyes open. I'll be around next month doing some video challenges. That's right, not just Photoshop stuff, but also some video challenges. Lots to offer here, I guess. We should do a Roller Troll video version, video edition. I'm not sure how that would work. All right, so we've got a little job board, but you see that I made it flat. Don't worry about that. We'll figure it out. I'm going to name this Bill's board so I know what it is when I come back to it later. I can always take this and start adjusting the angle that I want. So we can always kind of mess around with that. Don't necessarily have to worry about if it's flat now, will it always be flat? Like you know, some believe that the Earth is. I'm joking, obviously. Adobe Live Classic, yeah. Keys says this is classic. Sweet, excellent. Troll Patrol looks like it's winning. You know what? Let's go ahead and end it. Looks like Troll Patrol is going to get it. I really thought we would have gallant guardians, but we're not. So we've got Troll Patrol. That means we have to roll the D4. So let's see if we can bump on over to our roll screen. I'll pull up the dice can. And D4s notoriously don't roll very well. They just kind of do what they do. So let's see what happens. It did what it did, and it rolled a 1. So we have 1, not really a patrol with 1. Did I put a minimum on this? Let's go check it out. I did not. So we have 1 troll. 1 troll patrol. Let's see what that's going to look like. Let's go back to the live work. Oh, while we're here. Since we're selecting this, we have to start another. Go back. Gotta go back. Gotta go back to the dice cam. Sorry. Whoa. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll for the next option. A 4. Someone remind me how all of this works while I'm doing it live. Okay. Let's go to a 4. Let's see what this is. First off, before we do that, I'm going to start making a note of these as we do them. So I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go 1. All right, so now we go to 4. Reveal what the options are. We've got, don't you dare. It says diary. Oh my gosh, spell check. Will not save me. Will not save me. It's supposed to say, all right, we're fixing this on the fly. Control T to get, oh, hello. Control T to get to your type tool, or Shift T, is that right? Shift T, escape, Shift T, yeah. Don't you dare. Wow. Okay, cool. Smooth as usual. Let's continue. So we have option A, don't you dare. And we have option B, open for buzziness. So the first one is you have like a dairy, someplace that makes potentially cheeses and milks. And the other store or the other market would be a apiary. Is that right? Is that bees? It would be a honey shop. Yes. So open for buzziness is one of the shops, and don't you dare. Don't you dare is the other one. So get those up in into a poll if you can figure it out. Jack, I apologize. We're going to work on our troll patrol. That is true. Keys brings up a good point. Our troll could be quite gallant. I'm going to put a little marker, a color marker on Bill's board so that we can remove it for now. And I'm going to go ahead and name this Troll patrol. And let's just let's see what our troll is going to be doing. I think he's going to be rather large. If this is our eye line coming along here, and this is a typical, person size potentially. It's pretty small. I think our troll is going to be rather large. And I like the idea of him just chillaxing alongside a building. Let's see. We don't have a building yet, so we'll have to work on that. Maybe he's reading a book. I'll give him a large head. Probably wearing some sort of tunic, some sort. A loincloth and a tunic. Big old gnarly feet, probably. Do I draw with a mouse or a drawing board? I draw with a Wacom. It's not a Cintiq. It's a Intuos Pro. I do have a Cintiq, and I used to use it quite a bit. But one of the things I discovered is that I like to not have my hand in front of my screen because I can see what I'm doing a lot better. And let's see if I can make this troll look, I don't know. We've got a silhouette of a troll. I'm going to try to give him a big old nose. Maybe some tusk tooth. Maybe a shaggy mop. Big brow, big furrowed brow. And I thought about, he's not, he's reading a book, potentially. We can have him do other things. Maybe he's got like a gauntlet on, a little something. Maybe a pauldron. But not a lot of protection. He's quite massive in size. Wacom. Yeah, I used to think that too. I used to think it was a Wacom, and I heard someone who worked with them. Apparently, it's like Kanishiwa. I thought it was way to communicate. Wacom. I tried to put some logic behind it, but apparently it is Wacom. I don't know. I say it how you feel. What works for you? Does this guy have a? Let's give the troll a man bun. Let's take a look at our first business investment. And we've got a tie. I think this is the day of ties. I mean, we've got enough storefronts. We could definitely do all of them. Or make room for more. I mean, that's the beauty of this, right? Do we give him shoes? Give him some slides. This one's already slid out. He's just kind of hanging on to it. All right, next vote wins it. I mean, he is trolling on his own patrol, right? He's not even paying attention. Just got a little today's scroll. Oh my gosh, he's scrolling, guys. Okay. Okay. I changed it. He can't he's like all of us. He has to he's always scrolling. I know this is super small, but that's okay. He's gonna get let go for scrolling too much on the job. It's like a real world. Maybe that's too real. Open for buzziness. Okay, let's get into the whole reason we're supposed to be here in making some buildings. We're only about 30 minutes in, so we've got time. I don't know that I'm going to keep doing all of these on the same layer, but let's go ahead and let's get some signage up, shall we? Maybe we do. Okay. Think. We gotta think this through. Open for buzziness. Do we do a hexagon shape? I know it's kind of what you expect. You know what I think we'll do? The first off, the shop doesn't have to be called Open for Buzziness. That's just the thing I picked to say that we have a honey shop. If you guys in chat come up with a better name for our honey shop, we can certainly incorporate it. But I like the idea of we've got bees on these little springs. So when the wind blows, they kind of blow around. This is the level of refinement we're probably going to get today. But let's go ahead and build the shop out. This is the sign, potentially something like this. I think I made my eye line a little bit too small. Maybe we'll do like a one window. There'll be a little stall for the window. Like a little place for you to like walk up and get honey. Is this a thing that you do? I don't think this is a thing you do. Maybe they do it here in this market. Here, I want this awning to go maybe over the top of all of it. Gonna try to keep this sort of medieval-ish. Medieval. Potentially. But I do like the idea of like having a shutter open. Possibly on both sides. No, I take it back. The real question is getting this to continue to read correctly throughout all of these. I'm going to start dropping in some other things that may or may not remain. A little hatch on the door. Maybe that's a little doorknob. What do we got here? Funny buzzness. Clever. Walls of honeycomb. Oh, the walls be of honeycomb. It be of honeycomb. There's potential. There's potential here, folks. Okay. I think I'm gonna bring this sign. Actually, I didn't think the sign was going to be, yeah, maybe I will bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Let's go. What is honey? Maybe we can do like honeycomb up one side, like the bees kind of taken over. Or the top is all that, potentially. Not the best representation of honeycomb, but I think the idea might come across. Looks more like shingles. It's okay. In fact, let's do some tile on this roof, on this awning, so you can kind of tell what's happening here a little bit better, potentially. Okay. I'm only seeing funny buzzness. Did I miss one? Did I miss another crowd favorite? All right. While I continue to work on this, and we don't have anything going on poll-wise, let's go ahead and get our selection done for this one and start a new roll. Whoop. Let's go ahead and see what we can roll. Okay, I'm going to choose a new D20 as well. Let's see what happens. 15. I think we almost had a natural 20. 15. Let's see what's up. It's choosing a 15, and first option is statues, 1d4. Ominous obelisk. So you guys get to choose. We can have 1d4 of statues or an ominous obelisk. So once you get that going, I'm going to keep working on our bees. Actually, I'm going to move in here. I like to stay working zoomed out as much as possible. Sometimes it's not the best option when you have to add details, but that does keep you from adding details. So I'm going to just name this funny buzzness. I don't even know if I can get that on here. Funny buzz. And I'm just going to say buzzness. It may be something we have to revisit. I can always do, I guess the thing is when you zoom in, I could make my brush super small, but I'm trying to have everything read on the same kind of chunkiness. I need to work on this honeycomb. That does not look like a honeycomb. I know it's hexagonal potentially. Anyway, again, a lot of these details will be lost, but we're looking at the overall picture here. And I will name this layer. Actually, this is the background layer, right? Yeah. I'm going to adjust that and just grab this. And then let's see, Control Shift J. Now I can name it. Okay. But I don't want to finish it. I don't want to leave it there. I'm going to keep working on this while we're deciding our fate for the next one. I do want to add a second story, I think. Or maybe we put a big, giant, fat bee up here, like the queen. Don't know if this is a good idea. But that's never stopped me before. Good idea? Bad idea? Don't let that stop you. Come on. I am going to add some, I'm going to make this look more like a post, something sticking out of the wall. Change the location on that, maybe. There we go. Giant bee. It's what we wanted, right? It's what we wanted all along. Do bees have noses like that? Probably not. Are they cross-eyed like this? Probably not. Is this one? Yes. Don't forget to vote to the poll. Yes. And I will have to roll whatever you guys choose, which it's a tie. It's always a tie today. Man, that is probably the best, most secret troll that I didn't even plan for. It's just nonstop tie. It really is. Yeah, yeah. It believed in itself. Oh, we got a raid? What? We missed a raid? Did I miss a raid? I'm sorry. Kifa, thanks so much for the raid. I appreciate it. If you don't know what we're doing and you're just coming in here, well, this is a little show called Roll or Troll where you guys decide what we're doing by voting on the options that we pick over on our little key here. Yes, I'm doing some effects. Please stay seated. But yeah, right now we're trying to decide on either statues or an ominous obelisk. Looks like ominous obelisk is going to win. Lock it in. Let's go. Let's go. I'm trying to, I don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to avoid as many ties as possible. Okay. What else? What else is there about it? So with the ominous obelisk, we don't have to roll. So we do have to roll for another option. So you guys can be polling on it. So let's go ahead and get that started as soon as possible. Okay, here we go. Let's pick a new dice altogether. A 2. What is a 2? What is this 2 going to be for us? First option. Plants o'plenty. Plants o'plenty. All right. And the second one, viney overgrowth. Viney overgrowth. So the difference being kind of overrun by vines, and or plants aplenty would be, there would be plants like bushes and basically a manicured area where we would have hanging plants and all of those things. I'm going to go ahead and choose, make sure that I don't forget to select our ominous obelisk, which is what we'll start working on right now. You guys need to choose the plants, plenty or viney overgrowth. And I've got an obelisk to plan, which I had thought about this, and I was like, well, I have to do more than one of a fountain, the fairy fountains. But if we do an obelisk, and this might be kind of obvious, it doesn't have to be dead center. But if we put it dead center, does that make it more ominous? We'll make a little stand for it. It's going to be dividing. And it could be a little bit more. So we could do something simple and leave it like that. But what if we make it a little bit more front and center, maybe even closer to the bottom? We could do it off to the side. I think it kind of needs to be in the center at the moment. But also, let's also make it more interesting. I think there could be some lore behind it. What is fueling this site? Does the obelisk could be made of like stone, chipped up, broken on one side, potentially. It could have runic markings on one side as well. I love all of these ideas. Guys, if you have any ideas, post them in the chat. We'll start figuring it out. Ooh, this might be a good, let's go ahead and drop in some symmetry. This might be a good time to use our built-in symmetry in Photoshop. Probably should have started this way, but that's okay. We'll get there. I think there's like a ring of bricks around it potentially. And it would definitely turn symmetry off when you're trying to add in details on this. Which I'm about to do. At least a little bit. Oh, wait, what's happening? Voting plants refuse to be part of. Viney overgrowth. Okay. We'll leave this open for a little bit longer, Jack. But let's go ahead and keep working on. I'm worried there will be a tie all of a sudden. But that's okay. All right, turning off symmetry, getting back in here. I really want part of this to be maybe like pitted. So maybe this chunk down here has a bunch of pits. I'm going to jump into our background and erase some of the stuff behind it. Oop, that's not our background anymore. Okay. I do like the idea of this having like a row of like bricks around it, but again, we'll have to have to make sure that it all lines up correctly, again, to our perspective for the most part. I'm not super concerned about that at the moment. It probably will be something as I kind of get this ready to, develop it a little bit further after the stream, I will focus more on. As long as those basic building blocks are in there. So let's just going to throw in some runic type things. Really, this is just little scribbles. If you ever want to do this, maybe make an outline of your area like this. Like a real rough sketch. And just start filling that up with little scribbles. And you'd be surprised how far that will go. Of course, this just makes quick ideas happen. Like you can make this look like little runes quickly, but if you were to go in and try and detail this later, obviously that's not something you would want necessarily. You could go ahead and clean it up as much as you like. But I do like being able to throw this in there mostly as a reminder for later. Like, oh, I'm going to come in here and possibly make this look a little bit more carved. Oh man, I've got to get my center line down. I'm really off. I'm going to make a little polygonal selection tool. Just grab this area. Close it off, delete. There we go. Feels a little bit better. And ideally, oops, you can make this side as clean, but I actually like that it's more organic. Flip this around too, so you can kind of get a better judge of what you're doing. Ryan said vote for plants. All right, sorry, Ryan. I think viney overgrowth is going to win. We have to move on. We have to keep moving on. I'm going to get rid of this too because I don't want... I want only this obelisk part to be angular. Everything else I want to look potentially rounded. As if it's standing on some sort of plinth. Probably need to make one more little stair step for this. I guess this is the troll part. Yes, we all have to live with it, Ryan, even if it's not what you want. That was you with the butterflies. Yes, the butterflies. I thought that would look so cool. It actually liked the way it turned out with the little dragons, but butterflies would have been cool too. You can always feel free to grab these things when I post results and do your own, version of it if you want. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's out there for you if you need it, if you want it. You have to have it. I do want to add, viney overgrowth 1. I do want to add a little circle here at the bottom. Well, we'll probably put more of these. I'll make my brush a little bit chunkier and I'll just drop in some shapes again to remind myself that these are probably runes of some sort. Who knows? It's supposed to be ominous. It's supposed to be something you don't know what's happening, potentially. These are like little scribble greebles. Scribble greebles is what I think of these as. If you know what greebles are when you're modeling something, it's basically like just little objects that add detail without doing a whole bunch of like detailing specifically. So there we go. That actually does set us a little bit of a plane to work with as well. All right, we gotta get going. We gotta move to the next thing. So we've chosen Plants aplenty. No, we did not. Sorry, we chose the viney option. So let's choose that. While we head on over to the next roller troll roll. Is that what you would call it? Roller troll roll? Roller troll roll? We toyed with the idea of calling these rot sessions, R-O-T, roller troll sessions. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, let's roll this. See what's up. Oh my. 19. Let's see what's up. 19. Reveal this. Option A. The distant future. The distant future. Anybody? What this means is, because I know what the next one is, we've got the distant future. And then we have past present. So, what this means is for our landscape, I didn't reveal. I messed the whole thing up. Sorry, guys. We have two options. I left it on the dice screen. Wrong screen. Oh, let's back it up. Hold up. I can do this. The distant future. That's option A. And then B, past present. Okay. So what this means is in the background, we add, which we don't have much. I'll have to make some building lines here. In the background, we add a sci-fi giant structure of some sort. That is the distant future, looking forward. Or in the background, we add massive ruins of some sort. So like think of like the Colosseum or something like that. So that's what the distant future, the past present means. So we get a sci-fi element or we get a history element. In the meantime, I'm going to call the obelisk done-ish. Meeps, my cat Meeps is having a fit. Meeps, you okay? All right, before I move on to that, we've got plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead and add this other side to the rune, to the obelisk, because I will forget. But it shouldn't take long, just a bunch of scribbles and scribbles. Maybe there's like a crack coming through. Something like that. It's really all about just playing with what you have in front of you and what the image is giving you and what you're drawing. Just kind of figuring out by what scribbles are added. There's a crack there. We're going to extend on that. Okay, so we could maybe make that a little bit more ominous, but for now, I do want to create some sort of skyline that we can have the distant future. I really thought we'd have more shops going in right now, but we don't. But that's okay. We can I just want to add something to give us an indication of where we're headed. We can have multiple stories on this and other things in the background. All right, I'm just going to worry about the tops of these buildings for the most part, or shops or whatever they are, just so that we have a skyline to work against. Vote future, hold the line. Oh my gosh. Ryan's all about it today. Be optimistic and vote future. Because I guess technically thinking of it that way, that might be one way to look at it. Our B shop is a little bit on the slumpy side here. because of this. See if we can change this just a little bit. I'm just massaging it into place a little bit. Nothing crazy. Just giving a little bit of the angle. So we keep our eye line right about here. We'll probably have to move our troll patrol around a little bit. Oh, I didn't change off my bead, did I? No, I did not. That's okay. We'll use our little Control-Shift-J. We have a new layer. Add it to the background. Now it's all one layer. Ba-doop. I am going to name this obelisk real quick. Obelisk. I did tell Jack at the beginning of this, or I mentioned, this might be the most ambitious that we've done, and I'm totally here for it. At least in terms of like getting, some result. We won't probably get complete close to results as if we have as we've done in the past, but we'll be close. We'll get something, at least the idea of things. I like the idea of maybe well, we'll figure it out. Looks like the distant future is not winning anymore. Ryan, what can you not get chat in line? Is that what you're telling me? Because by the time I finish this, we have to have something ready, right? By the time I get this last little chunk of skyline in. And that's it. That's where we are. So, Ryan, I'm sorry. Oh, the distant future. Call it. Yeah, what's up? Mighty May, how's it going? Eat dirt, kick rocks. Nice. Rigged. Let's get it. Hey, for old time's sake, in Twitch, let's get a rigged going on. I'll start it off. Rigged. All right, here we go. Okay, so the distant future 1. Shout out, Ryan, if you have an idea for what the distant future will look like. Do you have any kind of idea what you want to put back here? You let me know. Anybody else can chime in too if you have ideas for what your distant future looks like. If you're just coming in, you don't know what we're talking about. Well, we're solving all the keys to this list by rolling a die and determining our fate. And chat votes for it. The distant future just won. Oops. Let me make sure I'm on the right thing here. Distant future just won this outright, fair and square. Let's see what we have. Any ideas? The fix is in, not rigged, Ryan says. Oh, not those keys. All right, well, maybe we'll get something in here. Oh, he's throwing out names. Okay, I was talking about objects, but that works. I love long walks on dystopian streets with ominous obelisks. That's a quote. That's a quote we all need to think about deeply. All right, while we're thinking deeply on that, let's roll again, see what happens while Ryan decides to give us an object or something. All right, what are we doing here on the die cam? Have we done? We haven't rolled with this d20 yet. We got 2 more that we haven't used. That's a 17. 17. Now let's go to the board. $17 reveals. Oh. Thatch. And you may not see it because it's super small, but that's what I'm talking about. That's one of our options. B is shabby shingles. So we can have something with a thatch roof, or we can have some shabby shingles. Yeah, Wade is buying stock in dry ice. Yes. That's just my normal breath, my dragon breath. See, watch. See, watch. Not a vape, I promise. Not a vape. Just my dragon breath. I should have gone full screen for that. I'm sorry. All right, so shabby shingles or thatch, what I'm talking about. On one of these roofs, we will add some thatch or something. Vape Nation. Get out of here. Not a vape, I promise. Adobe Live's like, what? Why? What is happening? We didn't ask for this. All right, I'm going to move our pal over here. He kind of does need to be leaning on a building, though. So I'm going to make sure he's still in. What were we doing? Oh, distant future. You know, honestly, this is not something I thought would come up. I thought we'd get the other one, which we almost did. It was close. It was close. We got a big B over here, so let's put our distant future over on this side. And I'm going to do it on its own layer, just in case. I'm going to call this distant future. And I think what I'm going to do, and don't, let's just see. I'm going to work on it for a second. Don't think it's a work in progress. Kind of looks more like a tower right now, but I think if we put little antenna coming off of it, we could maybe do like a giant floating orb, but that might look a little bit too Destiny-ish. Yeah, it looks like a nuclear power plant, right? But I'm thinking lights, which I can't really indicate right now. That sort of thing. Ooh, maybe a chunk of it is floating. Maybe multiple chunks of it. I don't know what the future looks like in this world, but I'm going to try and find out by sketching it. And I'm also imagining like super faded in the background if we were to get color on this, which I don't think we're going to get there. Well, we won't get there today, but maybe there's one even further back. Ooh, maybe it continues up. off the page. Something like that. And then we have one way off in the distance. Another, they're both way off in the distance, by the way, but this one probably gets lost behind a cloud. And maybe there are little junting pieces that come off here. I'm starting to get lost in it, guys. You can tell I'm getting quieter and thinking. Maybe sections of it spin or something. I don't know. Hey, what's up, PR? How's it going? I like the idea of being able to see this way in the distance as well. Almost as if, you know, this market area is maybe left in time. All right, how's that looking? What is our roof materials looking like? Shabby shingles. Shabby shingles is going to do it. We're a little over an hour in. We're about 7 minutes past an hour in. So let's go ahead and end that one. We'll start with another roll. I will go and select that real quick. While I'm thinking about it. But we do need to get into the next choice. Let's see what it's going to be. We'll roll with our last fresh D20. Let's see what happens. A 12. Have we rolled 12? We have not. 12 it is. 12 it shall be. Move up for the reveal. All right. Option A. A franchise. 1d6, minimum of 2. All right, so this is potentially where we really start to fill out some of these shops. And then B option, popular pop-up. This is something you guys will shout out what you want, what options you want. After it gets selected. So think of it this way. Franchise, I'll come up with something that will have multiple shops of. And then if the other one will have a popular pop-up where it's one item, one thing that you guys get to kind of throw out there. Much like we did with the naming of Fuzzy Buzzness. But you know, that's how this works. So I need chat to do some of the heavy lifting. Okay. Get that poll going, and we'll move on to shabby shingles, which we kind of did. Well, we started shingles. I will actually pick this shop since we developed the roof a little bit. Just renaming some layers real quick. Okay. Oops, don't want it to be red. All right, I'm going to do some more shingle action on this. So what I'm going to do is make some lines first to kind of determine where my shingles will be. I'm going to make these little loops, and I don't care too much. I basically just want them to follow this line, and we'll see how they go. And then every so often, I will drop in another little half circle. They can line up. They don't have to line up. I actually want them to be a little bit more shabby, so they're going to be a little bit haphazard. And I'm probably going to knock some of them out. Oh, we have to do viney growth. Oh my gosh, you guys didn't remind me. It's your fault. It's not my fault. I love how that always works in a stream. Like, what? You guys didn't do the thing? All right, we've got a lot of work to do then. Yeah, at least two of the same business. That's right. Like, think of it like a Starbucks or something like that. And we'll probably do a coffee shop. Start thinking, I mean, if that gets picked, because that's the one I can choose. But if you guys want to choose your own pop-up, and we could franchise that if we wanted to. All right, I think we have some shingles up here. That's fine for our purposes. Put a little bit of board or something beneath them. You know what? They could shingle all the way around, but I don't think so. All right, I'm going to just kind of knock out some of these. Put some of them at odd angles. The shabbier, the better, I think. Completely missing ones. And you can see how this would take a little bit of time to do an entire market this way. And I didn't have to choose tile necessarily. It could have been another type of shingle, but I like the idea of the tile. Yeah, I almost forgot about the vines, Penny. I know I blame you guys a lot for stuff, but that's on me. That one's on me. Can't use chat for every scapegoat. Potions pop up. Oh man, the possibilities of a potions pop up would be very popular among the potioning populace. Perhaps. Perchance. Okay, here we go. Pop-up is winning by a landslide. Okay, well, we have an option right now. We can go ahead and close that one off. And I like the idea of potions, but if you give me a name, we can go even further with it. And we'll probably set it right over here. We'll probably put it over here somewhere so that we can see it better. So we've got some shabby shingles. Since we closed that one, here's what we're going to do. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to roll for the next option like we always do. But then I'm going to work on, since we just finished the shabby shingles, I'm going to work on the vines that I had forgotten. I'm not blaming you, chat. This is all on me. So sorry. But you know what? We got to roll, keep things moving along. And what I think, I'm just going to pick one. We're out of fresh dye. Oh, what do we have here? A 6. Did we already do a 6? I think we already had a 6, so it's probably a reroll. Yes, we had 6. That was our patrol. 16. We have not done 16. All right, let's get into it. 16. Option A. Whoa, fairy fountains. Fairy fountains. I mentioned this earlier on accident. Fairy fountains, because I had them mixed up with statues. But we could do some fairy fountains, or we could do some putrid puddles. I don't know. Both of these are 1d4. I'm going to go ahead and roll the 1d4 now, so we don't have to think about it. I totally just bumped everything. I'm going to jump right into the dice cam. Let's see what we get. The 1d4. 4. Excellent. That's a lot on a 1d4. So I'm going to go ahead and mark, so I'll remember. Four. And pop up 1. So let's go ahead and mark that down, and let's get started. Ooh. Now we have multiple things. Let's do vines, then pop up, and we'll leave the puddles and the ditches and all of that stuff. Oh man, I keep mixing up things, and that's okay. I am a big mix-up right now. Okay, vines is what I don't need to get mixed up. Vines. So I know I'm going to add some vines on this guy. Maybe we'll leave it on our obelisk. I'm going to move this to the front. We'll probably have some vine action trailing off onto some of the buildings depending on where they go and what happens with some future rolls. But I do like the idea of maybe there's more to this. Maybe there's like vines are coming out of the cracks around this and encircling. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this to indicate where we're going. And we could have maybe like a store or two that also get the viney treatment. And I am just color picking real quick just so I can knock out some of these. Which I rarely do when I'm doing a sketch layer, but I can always turn this to multiply if I need to. And it will bring all the stuff that I marked out back. And again, I'm just kind of letting this, trying to figure this out as I go. I'm not really like giving it a lot of how would the vines creep, which they could. You could get into that. I would highly recommend looking up a reference. I'm not doing that currently, but I think we'll be okay without it for now. Now, there definitely are some options on the list that I will have to look up a reference for if we get them. Make sure some of these vines in the foreground are a lot thicker, so they read as such. And they're coming more at you, coming towards you in the camera. But I think this will work for the viney overgrowth for now. And maybe on the pop-up, we'll or next to the pop-up or something, we'll figure out if we need more of it. I'm going to add a few little leaves here. Probably do a lot more of this if there were less time constraints. Because honestly, it is a lot of fun to play with and to kind of figure out where things are coming from, how things are wrapping 3D wise, you know. Ooh, a really cute frog potion. Let me take a look. Did we decide on potions? The brouhaha. Oh my goodness. Let's do it. That's our pop-up. Trying to find the potion that we're talking about here. Oh, you're talking about for reference. Gotcha. Okay. Let's do it. All right, let me check on the board here. We've got... Oh, we're still looking at what water feature. Putrid puddles. Cool. We're gonna call that, but we've got a lot going on. So let's work on one thing at a time. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. We're gonna go work on our pop-up. And I will make a new layer. Man, this is the most layers I think we've done as far as individual things. It's a day of firsts. And we've got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to move this over. You know what? I don't want to have us not polling. That's the thing. Let's see. Maybe I'll grab this and call that. Yeah. I'm going to call this potions. Pop up. I'm going to move this slightly in front of our our fuzzy business. And just so we are clear on that, let me go back to fuzzy business. I'm going to add a mask on it real quick and then just paint out the stuff that overlaps. And on our background. And I'm going to move this over so we can see it a little bit better. Okay. But I do want to keep polling, so let's go ahead and this may be the longest poll we'll have up there. Wording. All right, let's go ahead and don't roll the die just to see what's happening. Because we have some options that are hidden still that might actually work really well for this. We'll see if we get one. We may not. We may not get one at all. 14. I don't know what that is. Let's check out what 14 is. Okay, option A. Oh, this is good. Wattle and Daub. Not the name of a building. It's the name of a type of material in architecture, or Gothic. So get that going, and we can start to figure out if maybe it applies to our potion shop. For now, it will not. So we can just kind of do some general stuff. Get rid of that. Probably do want some sort of awning like the rest. I like that awning in the reference, but maybe we'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe we'll add it. Maybe we'll do it instead of. Maybe it'll be like pulled back curtains on the front of this. Because we did mention it was sort of a pop-up. Or it was supposed to be a pop-up. So we'll have it be like a bunch of curtains hanging. Potion shops, curtains, that's fine. I think it works. Let me ask you this. This is a very, do you pool your curtains? Like, do you let them pool on the ground, P-O-O-L? Or do you pull them right up above? Do you hem them right above they hit the ground? It's a very important question, by the way. I wonder what chat's take on that is. It's very controversial in interior design circles. Actually, I don't like that bottom pull. I think I will let them just drape. Maybe we can have that little thing happening in there. I like that. And maybe they're tied up. Like so. They get pulled up. Well, I mean, like, do you let them pull on the ground visually? Like so? Like they flop over into the ground? Or do you hem them where they're just touching? I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently that's a thing. And I'm just going to start putting in a couple of trays and a table of some sort right here. And this will probably be where our bottles will sit, our potions. Wouldn't see it from this, but probably. Maybe some sort of like stack of welcoming rugs. Some place for people to stand on. That's not just the barren floor or dirt ground. I don't know. We haven't gotten to those options yet if they're in there. Got to make sure they're taped down though, because you can't have people sliding all around. Tripping hazards, you know. But I like the idea of having like a little welcoming something happening there. I'm going to flip this around just so I can see it from a different perspective. Some boards here maybe. Let this appear like it goes back a little bit. Wait, Ryan, what's happening? Ryan's giving away iPod Nanos. Guys, go check out Ryan. He's giving away stuff. He's like, no, don't do that. It's not true. Okay. Just going to have little items sitting out here. I don't know what they are yet, but I do like the idea of potions. We can have a signage. I like the idea of potentially, if we're calling this a true pop-up, that it took over the building of something else. Also, let's take a look at what our... Oh, wait. Did we get... Oh, we have view 2. Don't forget, there is an architectural style one up. Wattle and Daub. Okay, looks like that's going to win. So we can go ahead and end that one so that I can make this a Wattle and Daub building. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of the construction where you see beams with wood in between. You see it in any kind of medieval game, video game. It's very... I don't know. It's easy to kind of spot. And I'm going to make the top of this wattle and daub, and we might do a little thatch roof anyway, because wattle and daub and thatch. Ooh, good stuff. Oh, it is kind of tough though, because I want to do, maybe we'll do the signage down low. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to work on this, make this wattle and daub like. Typically I do this weird thing, and I'm going to do it here because I like it. I like seeing the exposed beams doing stuff like this. It's unfortunately cutting right into our B. But that's okay. We'll figure all this out at some point. So I get something like this. I love having these little extensions on these things. Even if they don't make sense. I don't know why, but I like it. I'm trying to pull up some reference just so I have something to look at. Maybe we'll do... Maybe we'll do something like this. We could do a couple of windows on top, or maybe one window that comes across. And maybe put one of these little sideways beams coming down like that. So, yeah. This is the wattle, and the stuff inside is the daub. Ooh, we could do... This is kind of going off the page. But we could do like a stained glass take on this, on the interior. And maybe it's a potion bottle. That would not make it a pop-up though. I don't think I care. I think at this point, as long as it sells the idea, I'm not going to be mad at this not being a pop-up. Or maybe there's all kinds of things we could add to this to make it work logistically. But I like the idea of having like a potion bottle. Find the center of this as best as possible. That could be like a stained glass piece that's coming in here. Again, would be hard to know what it was without color, but the idea would be there potentially to make this look like stained glass. I guess we could hang the sign as well. Got about 10 minutes left here. Well, 10 minutes before rapid fire. Where are we on everything that we've done so far? I believe Waddle and Daub won, so let's go ahead and mark that. Am I missing something? Chat, tell me if I'm missing something besides my sanity. Waddle and Daub. Oh, putrid puddles. We had to get the puddles in. We got a lot of stuff to do here. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna put a shine here real quick on the front. That says brouhaha. Was that what we were talking about? Okay, brouhaha. There we go. And these were bottles. I promise these were supposed to be bottles. Stacks and stacks of bottles. Round ones, big ones, small ones. And then probably lots of little intricate fixings for other bottles and such. Ingredients, all those things. Why do we cut these things so darn close? I know, right? Let's see. All right, so putrid puddles. I want to get back to building stuff, so I'm just gonna make some puddles out here. Oh, you know what? We got time. Let's do another roll real quick. See what we can get. See what we can squeeze out of this. Just to check it out and see what's up. Rapid fire. A 10. You know we haven't had today, folks? The first time ever. We still have time. We have not had a 20 or a natural 20 the entire day. This will be the first if it doesn't happen. Oh my. So we have green gots, as in the gots green. Don't copyright strike me, or we've got Prey Day loans. If you know what that pun is about. So we got two options. Wrong screen again. Jack calling me out. Definitely wrong screen. There we go. Green gots and Prey Day loans. Do we have to back it up again? I think we're okay. Made it before it was over, right, Bliss? Well, some could argue that it's been over for a while. Some could argue that. But we've got Green Gots and Prey Day loans. Which one? Chat, this is going to be rapid fire. So, Jack, if you can get that into a poll, I'm going to work on our putrid puddles, which is just going to be a bunch of little puddles. that I actually, ooh. This is becoming more of obelisk lore than I intended. Because I like the idea now that potentially there are puddles around this obelisk that's leaking out. Something's happening. Did we have a number on that? I don't think we did. Oh, we did. Well, it was 4. It was 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like the idea potentially that some of these are there's little cracks and stuff. And maybe the road will be cobblestone. Maybe the street will be cobblestone. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to call that 4 puddles. Sure, why not? And just so you know, they're putrid. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, let's go ahead and do this. Put a little, about the only shading we'll get today, but just enough to indicate water is wet. Liquid is wet. So we've got that. And then maybe some, like, stink lines that I probably won't post with stink lines. But I like the idea. This thing is leaking something. Something is going on. Maybe it was a gift. A gift from some other faction or something. To the Mayhem Market. Don't trust it? No, absolutely. Do not trust it. Payday loans. Oh, man. Well, you know what? We're going to do payday loans. Call it. No one wants to get green with their green gots. We're going to put this payday loan in the shabby shingle shack. Shabby shingle shack. And again, we're rapid firing here, so let's see what else we can do. Let's see what else there is. Let's go with the roll. Got about 17 minutes now. Oh, what did we get? 18. Did we do 18? I think we may have already had 18. No, we did not. And I keep going to the wrong screen. There we go. 18. First option is... Oh, wait, we'll get to select. Local legend. B, Sheriff of Nottingham. So we can add a local legend of some type in some form or fashion. You guys have to tell me what that is, or we will add another sheriff, another part, maybe part of the Troll Patrol. I don't know. Let me circle in our payday loans, excuse me. Hello. And let's see what that would look like. I'm going to go to our shabby chic building. Select it as best I can. Now it's going to look like the Troll Patrol is sitting outside of our shabby shingle shack payday loan. Wait a minute. Why did it not? There we go. Cool. Okay. Payday. We could waddle and daub it up as well. And I like the idea that it's more shack-like. It tried to add shingles as like, we're an establishment that people like. People trust us. It's like, probably not. Probably will have another side of shingle. I'll have to figure out what this corner looks like. It's like a little taco hut. That's twice I've had reference to taco huts. Ooh, should we have it closed? Should that be? Because no one wants predatory activities happening. Well, we're going to do one more roll. That may determine something else. But I think we should have like, let's see, let me get us some doors or something on this. I think it's as bland a building as could possibly be. Maybe it has double doors. Oh, you know what? Oh, man. I may have to cancel all of the last rolls that we just did. Because I'm forgetting one important thing, guys. All right, let's see where we are with our Sheriff of Nottingham. Because I am not going to be able, you know what? I'll add a figure real quick. Oh, man. I can't believe I left this very important detail to the end. It's okay. Add little tiny windows to our little thing here. And I think maybe like a wolf's head might be the predatory part of this. And I am going to close it. I'm going to make sure it's closed. Boarding up the doors as we speak. Boarding up the windows. But we got a little wolf up here. Well, they're really big on their mascots at this. They're really big on their mascots here. Okay, good enough for me, I think. But I almost forgot, guys. I can't believe I almost forgot this. We can't have a Mayhem market without a Jorts shop. We got to have a Jorts shop, and we only have a few minutes to do it. Let's just say the Sheriff of Nottingham is nothing, so we only have 10 minutes of this. So I want to focus on the Jorts shop, which I think I'll put back here. I'm just going to go ahead and start with a giant pair of jorts. We need a name for it. And we're going to have the back of the jort showing. Here, there's our signage for it. Here, maybe the sheriff will be right here, and I'll just do like a little... Here, this is all in the same thing. Let me make a new layer. Not going to be the most inspired sheriff. Got his hands on his hips. A little weird hat. Maybe he's got like a feather. Erasing all the stuff out that has gotten in the way. Okay. Probably we'll have to look for these details when we come back. Like when on the next roller troll, I'll try and make sure I've got something going on here. What if the sheriff is wearing jorts? Is that a thing? I mean, he may shop at the jort shop. And he's maybe new boot goofing. Definitely new boot goofing. I think we just made the Sheriff of Nottingham Officer Dangle, if you're familiar. That was not intentional. But I'm here for it. I'll definitely have to work on this because it's worth salvaging, right? I don't know why they have the same pose, but maybe we'll move our trolley guy somewhere else. All right, jorts. We've got 7 minutes for jort shop. We definitely need to have a sign. Did we wait? Name? Was there a name? Hanging out at the Jorts Bar. The Jorts Bar. Oh. Jorts Bar and Spill. Nope. Jort, and this would say bar. The Jort Bar. All right, we've got something that says Jorts. I will work on it. The Jorts Bar. Let's make sure. Got to be careful with your waddle and daub when there's jorts involved. Just saying. What's up, Sean? How's it going? We only have a few minutes here, about 6 minutes left. I feel like I did not give us enough time. I did not jort responsibly and give us enough time to work on this jorts bar. Because it would essentially need to be like a pub, right? But I'll do my best offline to make it right before the next roller troll, which, by the way, that's the news, guys. There is a roller troll for April. May's looking iffy, but there's definitely 2 more episodes of roller troll coming up in May. We gotta come up with some good ideas. Keep it rolling. Let's see if I can. I like this. I like where this is going. So there's potential here. I might go retrofit our fuzzy buzzness to work a little bit better. And honestly, I may take this whole thing as a sketch, as an underdrawing. and take it into Fresco, because I like working in Fresco a lot better with things like architecture. I've just gotten a lot better at using a bunch of those perspective tools and stuff they have in there, honestly. Yeah, we got about 4 minutes left on this jorts. Don't ask me how this sign is working. We'll have to figure that out. It's probably just bolted to the wall. We don't care about that stuff. We don't have to know. That's the magic of the jorts. We don't have to know how jorts work to appreciate them. They just be. They be what they be. Is the next stream on Friday? There is a stream on Friday. Yes, I don't know exactly what's happening, but there is a stream on Friday. The next Roller Troll stream, and I'll pull this up real quick as we wind things down, because I think this is where we are. This is where we're going to leave it. Will be on April the 7th. We'll be on April the 7th. But I do like where this little market is going. Oh, I spelled jorts backwards, guys. I didn't initially, but when you reverse your screen, you know what? Maybe we'll leave it. Maybe that's why it's just the back side of the jorts. You're seeing it all in reverse. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Not super concerned there. But this is about it today. I know we covered a lot. I don't know if we did more today than we've ever done, but I feel like we made a lot of progress. I'm not sure why, and I'll make a note of this. I'm not sure why we wound up with Officer Dangle, but we did, and I'll just write in. Will I remember what this means in a week from now? But I'm going to write Dangle. And then move along. But let's take a look. We had our here. Let me flip this back around. Oh no, I did not. I did not write it wrong. I wrote brouhaha wrong. Jorts is fine. Jorts is fine. Jorts is okay. Brouhaha is wrong. Is backwards. All right, but what did we do today? We've done our funny business. We've got our obelisk that's leaking some kind of black ichor. I'm not sure what that is. We have our Prey Day loans with our wolf. We got our Sheriff of Nottingham, our Troll Patrol, which could use some work. We have our Distant Future back here. We don't know why there's sci-fi in our fantasy, but you know what? Peanut butter and chocolate go together. Why not sci-fi fantasy? We have a potion pop-up shop happening over here. It turned into more of a permanent structure. You know what? These things happen. You start off as a pop-up, and the next thing you know, you're around forever. But that is going to do it for us today. I want to say thanks to everybody coming out. It's always a blast. It's always a lot of fun. Be sure and check out what's happening over on Behance and YouTube, Adobe Live streams all week. And I think, yes, we'll be back here on Twitch. And that's going to do it for me. So see you soon, everybody. Take care. Bye.